Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Mira, ¿qué pasa, Vente? How are you doing, my friend?
Bonjour, ça va très bien. Et tu?
Comment allez-vous? That's all I know, and I know all the curse
Hello,
words.
everyone. Hello. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. How you doing today, girl? How you doing?
I'm horrible.
What, really? What's that all
No,
about?
I'm just joking.
Hey, I'm
fantabulous.
I'm just trying to figure it out. What happened, son? What happened?
You're like, whole 2 minutes. What happened?
So
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm feeling great. Like Tony the Tiger. Yeah, I know.
Let me see your shirt. Okay.
Yeah. What we talking about? That's what we talking about. The greats. We got the greats on my shirt. The greats.
That's cool.
All on my titties. All on my nipples. They all on my shirt. all on them.
All of them.
Yes. What's the color for today? What color you want for today? I forgot even to ask you that. What color you want today? What the color you want today? Uh-oh. You hear me?
Let's do. I'm not. Yellowy greeny.
Yellowy greeny. That's
yellow. No, that's a little throw uppy.
Yellowy greeny. Yeah,
kind of like our background.
Huh? Like a background?
Like our background color. Yes.
Well, that's probably gonna be.
How is everyone feel? Oh, before we begin, can you please share this out, everyone? Share this out to your friends, your family, your whole network. Can you like us? Please like, share, so that we could bust through the algorithm so more people can see our content. Thank you.
Thank you. Then did you share it to your YouTube channel yet? Yeah, because I'm here looking forward. I'm like see what's going on here, because this is the 7th episode. Oh yeah, we made it.
Right? In the 7th year.
On a Wednesday. Healing vibes, baby. Healing vibes. I hope y'all feeling the healing vibe, because tonight we have a great guest coming on tonight. It's gonna be healing everybody. And I can't wait. I want to thank, of course, the great Freddie Ricks for introducing us to this beautiful sister.
Amazing.
That's my boy. He born August the 8th. That's my boy, Leo. Crazy. Freddie has imitated some people for me and had me dying, dropping to the floor. So,
really?
Yeah. He's a comedian. I've had him on the show before, but we got to bring him back on this time on the healing vibe so he can vibe out with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Want to thank everybody that's tuning in and locking in all over the world, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. Broadcasting not only on my channel, King Simon Presents, Only Quality People, but also on Kerry. And thank all of those people that are joining Kerry-Ann's and liking and subscribing to Kerry-Ann's YouTube page. Let's get that a round of applause, man.
Thank you.
Our numbers are going up.
Thank you all so much. I love this family.
Yeah, this is a family. It's a family affair. Ha! It's a family affair. Sing it to me, baby. It's a family affair. Do I have to throw my shades on you, mother? I ain't scared of you, mother. Let me stop.
Shut your mouth.
Y'all people.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're gonna have. Are you ready to introduce this beautiful sister? Mm-hmm. Come on now. We ready.
Come on.
I'll let you do all the intro for this one. I want you to bring this sister on.
All right.
Please.
No.
Do I have a drum roll? I don't think I have a drum roll.
Tonight, we're so honored to welcome on the Healing Vibe, Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison. She is the first woman of color impressionist in the whole of America. That's huge. Can we have an applause? Can we have an applause?
I want to wait until you finish. I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what's that.
That's amazing in and of itself. Then she was chosen to be the first associate writer on Saturday Night Live, you guys. And this is after she was chosen. Sylvia was chosen to replace the great Richard Pryor to host the Roast of the Champs. This was Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, his legendary fight before his, his gathering before the major fight in the 1960s. So that really laid the ground for her to establish her talents. And, she was managed by the great Red Foxx.
Yes. Get that a round of applause. I love Richard.
Right? And she toured with Whitney Houston. She did 23 cities with the great Whitney Houston.
Yes.
And she's like, her resume is just incredible. She's performed with countless entertainers, including the Mo'Nique, Dick Gregory, George Wallace, Jay Leno, David Letterman, Gladys Knight, Robin Williams, Jeffery Osbourne,
yes.
Jerry Seinfeld, Chaka Khan, and Rosie O'Donnell, just to name a few. Like, we could go on and on. She's the author of 3 books. Her recent one, Me, Satan, God, and COVID, which
I understand.
Title alone is jokes. So we would just like to welcome Sylvia to our show and, really celebrate her for being in the industry for 50 plus years.
Let's welcome her right on right now. Let's do it. Hey, Sylvia.
Oh my God, that introduction. I was like, I want to meet her. I can't wait to see who it is. Oh my God, they're talking about me. What a nice introduction. Thank you, Kerry. And thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
She did a wonderful job, right? She did a wonderful job.
She did. Yes, she did. It was good. It was so good. I'm sitting back here saying, wow. What? Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and thank you very much for coming on. Give you a well-deserved round of applause as usual. Thank you. And I had to wear this shirt because these two people on the side here really propelled you. Unknowingly, Richard Pryor unknowingly propelled you just to where you had to go.
You know what? When I think about those days, I just find it amazing because I was just telling somebody the other day, they asked me about when I started comedy. I said, when I started comedy, there were no open mics.
Right.
There were no open mics. There were no comedy rooms. There were no comedy clubs. So there basically was nowhere for a Black woman, people that look like me, to go and do comedy. It just wasn't.
Right. Wow. I know it's a rough road because I used to be in the comedy world as far as promoting and all that back in the early 90s and all that, working at doing security. But actually our team was doing security at the Uptown Comedy Club back in the day. And so, in New York. And we seen how certain sisters was being handled back in the day. Even I had a very long conversation with Phyllis Yvonne Stickney about that and how they used to handle sisters in the comedy world of that time. And, and Mugga, friends of mine, is also another friend of mine.
I love Mugga. Yeah,
that's my girl, man. Her birthday just passed November 11th. So happy belated birthday, Mugga, my girl. So I shouted out and I hit her up and she did hit me back and said, thank you, brother. But it's powerful what the sisters are going through in the world and still go through to a certain extent. They still go through. Let's be honest. I'm not going to lie to nobody. I'm going to tell y'all what it is.
And how about this, Simon? How about when I started, I didn't know the only Black women I knew in comedy, and I didn't know them personally, was Mom Smavely.
Mom's, of course.
And LaWanda Page.
Other than that, I didn't have any. Yes,
they're the queens, if you ask me. Yes. But the problem back then, when I started doing comedy, was I didn't have any friends in comedy. I didn't know anybody because wasn't nobody doing comedy,
right?
So to speak. Right. I mean, like today, comedy is everything.
Yes,
it's like you can find any state, any city in this country today, and go see a comedy show this weekend.
That's right.
There was and me being a Black girl, and white boys ain't let me get on nothing when they first started doing open mics. There was I'd take 2 buses, a train, and another bus to get down to New York City in order to try to find a spot where they may be doing some comedy and ask, could I get on? And for 6 months, it just didn't happen.
Wow.
So was that the
the first one? I'm sorry, Kerry. Go ahead.
No. Was that the process of initiating you into the scene?
One night I had gone to a place they just opened up this club called Catch a Rising Star in New York City.
Yeah, Catch a Rising
Star. Seinfeld was the host.
That's right.
And I'd go there every week, only to be told no, not by Jerry, but by the people in the club. They would say, there's no more room, or, we've signed all the people, we're closing early, just all kind of excuses. Right. And Jerry would see me every week. In this one particular week, Jerry Seinfeld said, you know what, Sylvia, go ahead and get the mic. Give it a shot. So I never, ever forgot that. And I keep that in one of my stories when I'm speaking, when I have speaking engagements. And I never forgot Jerry Seinfeld for that.
That's right.
Never.
Yeah, I big up to Jerry because I've seen Jerry perform. A friend of mine brought him on stage at Caroline's, and he was just a surprise. And all of a sudden, he just tore it up and for free and really showed respect to the audience. It was an all-Black audience, and he was good guy. Yeah, real good guy, man. I got to meet him backstage real quickly, and I just shook his hand and then let him go and do what he got to do. But that's a good dude, man. Good dude. And I'm proud of the journey that you've been taking. And let me just stress that today's topic, family that are just tuning in, we're here with the great Sylvia Traymore Morrison. Let's put the respect, Dr. Sylvia Traymore Morrison. She's our guest, legendary impressionist. I like to put the Black female, but if you're an impressionist, legendary first Black female impressionist, comedian and author, and you was the first to write for Saturday Night Live. Powerful. Everybody jumps on that. And you can email her at Sylvia T. Morrison at Yahoo. Her Cashapp is $50 years for Sylvia, and her PayPal is paypal.me/almost there. And on her IG is Sylvia T. Morrison. I want to make sure y'all know who we got here. Put some respect to this lady's name. and the topic is healing the world through impersonations and laughter. Because that is what you actually are doing, even if you know or don't know, sister. That's why we of the Healing Vibe honor you immensely, because we're younger people at a certain extent, but we understand the importance of laughter because her and I love to laugh.
Yes.
We be laughing.
Laughter is truly healing. It's very healing.
Yes,
and it
is.
keeps you young. It keeps you young. Because I'm looking at you and Kerry, and y'all just as fresh and vibrant. And you've been laughing the whole while you've been on, and I love it. I love it because laughter is also catching.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, if you go around somebody and they like, oh no, you know, it's like I got all these haters and stuff, and people. You know, it's you almost laugh at them when they say that, and then they start laughing. So it's just happy.
Right.
You know what I want to share before I turn it over to Kerry. You know, the physiological changes of laughter. Let me read something to you about this laughter. It says laughter increases heart and respiratory rate as well as oxygen consumption over a short period of time. After these initial changes, a person moves into a state of relaxation. While these effects may not be the equivalent to aerobics exercise, as some claim, that is not to say it is entirely without benefit, as the physical body activity 10 to 15 minutes of laughter per day will burn 10 to 40 extra calories.
Amazing.
People don't even know.
I gotta applaud that one. I gotta applaud that one too.
That's beautiful. And I've been at a comedy show and laughing straight, one after the other. And so to see, you know, what you're doing. And I tell people it's one of the hardest jobs, because I remember Monteria Ivey, may he rest in peace, threw me on stage to do it. And I handled myself for the first 3 minutes, but after that 3, if you don't have that extra, I'm good at being a comedic MC and just going in and out and catching it in and dropping it out. But to hold that place for at least a good 5 minutes, woo! Oh, please, you know, I'm sorry, Kerry. Go ahead, Terry, talk to her, please. I'm already, woo.
That's such a powerful segue in, because I hear comedy. So I know you've worked with the great Robin Williams. I loved Robin Williams.
Yes.
And I'm using him as an example because in this industry, you dive deep within yourself to bring out the best, to make people laugh. And many comedic individuals struggle with being low the majority of their time. So my question to you is, what have you done to help yourself manage? And is this something that you have battled, being that you have to dig deep within yourself to bring the joy, to bring the humor? Are there parts of yourself that has not suffered, but you have used this career path to help heal?
What a great question. I mean, that really is a great question. And I'm sure there are a couple of comedians right now, or maybe several, quite a few, listening. And I remember when I first started, and like I just said a few minutes ago, nobody would give me any time. Nobody would give me no stage presence, no nothing. And I couldn't understand why. And it started to be a little depressing. That as hard as I would take 2 buses, a train, and another bus just to get to New York City to try and find, first I had to try to find a place where I could ask, could I go on for a few minutes? And I guess the blessing came with the fact that I didn't care about anything. I just loved what I did, and I wanted to show the world what I did. So if it meant doing that every night until somebody, somewhere, someplace, somehow, another would say, okay, Sylvia. And quite frankly, Jerry Seinfeld was that person. And I was in California. Yeah, because that's when Red Fox had taken me out to, there's so many time, dates, and places and stuff, you know, that I have to try to remember. Don't get it mixed up, because just now I'm like, wait a minute, was it Red Fox or was it Jerry Seinfeld? Which one? But in California, Red Fox didn't have any clubs or open mics or nothing. His idea was to put me on the show with him and take me on a couple of his engagements. He was such a businessman, just such a businessman. So I never really got to do, there were no open mics to do. But I found this club in California. They had just opened, called the Comedy Store.
Yes. Yes.
And I went there and that's where I met Robin Williams and Jay Leno and David Letterman, because none of us, we were all young, struggling, hoping to find a way in the business.
Right.
Now I have to say this because it's what it is, you know.
Right.
It wasn't meant for a Black girl to come in there and start just throwing down and doing it. Yeah. White boys, Jewish boys, those guys got all the breaks. They got all of them.
Of course.
And at that time, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand. All I knew is that I was just let me do something on the microphone. So I went and got in line at the Comedy Store. And I remember that my number was 19. I was number 19 in line. And Robin was right behind me. Robin Williams was right behind me. I love him too. He used to always say, you know what, Sylvia, you're going to be big. You're going to be big. And you know, not even knowing that he was in line for Mork and Mindy, you know, for all of his wonderful things that he'd done.
Yeah.
And when I did my 3 minutes at the Comedy Store, Mitzi Shore, Pauly Shore's mom, Mitzi owned the Comedy Store. And I got a tap on the shoulder and someone said, you know, it's been so long. It's been like 40 some years ago. Someone said, I don't know who the someone is. I wish I could remember. But they said, Mitzi would like to talk with you. And so they took me over to Mitzi Shore. And she says, and at that time, my nickname is Bunny. And that's what I was going by, Bunny. She said, oh, Bunny, we really enjoyed you. We'd like to have you back. So I was like, really? Because the word was, if Mitzi Shore said she wanted you back,
big
what?
Big.
You're in. You
are the one. And it was like, I was the only Black girl in there, period. Wow. So because it wasn't until maybe 76 or 77, I found out about Marsha Warfield and Shirley Hemphill was on TV doing, you know, her doing the television show. So now there were a couple of ladies in California that I could try to connect with, so I could have somebody to talk to about comedy. But I had to go back east. My dad died, so that canceled all of that. So, but comedy can be very depressing because please don't go out on stage and have a bad set. You beat yourself up the whole night. You beat yourself up the whole night. I've had one incident in my entire 54-year career that I say was a bomb, but most people that saw it, it wasn't no bomb. It was good, you know, but I said, no, I had adjusted myself by that time to, if I don't get a standing ovation, there's a problem.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't get anywhere near a standing ovation this one night I worked with the Temptations. It was fine. You know, they clapped and they did all that. And some lady hollered out, said, y'all get a girl a chance. She's doing all right, or something like that. You know, I was like, ooh.
That's a start. That's right. That's a start. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a start when you get that kind of, even if one person catch it, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Because sometimes you try to focus right there where they all laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it, son. That is correct. Because I was so thankful for her. Because as soon as she said that, everybody shut up. And I started going for it. I was like, this is. And
you know what's so funny? It's watching the documentaries of a lot of comedians why they even have the mask of tragedy and comedy. And most of the comedians on the stage have gone through some real traumatic times in their life to even be able to jump on it and tell their story through comedy. Like, of course, Paul Mooney would say he went through some stuff back in his day.
Right,
you know,
right.
And George Carlin. Yes. And of course, Lenny Bruce. We all know Lenny Bruce's story. And Freddie Prinze Jr. And then taking himself out after. And Robin Williams, who smiles and laughs. You thought Robin was like, I'm like, whoa, Rob, how that went? How'd that go? I was growing up with Mork and Minnie. Nano. I was growing up with all this. I was there with Robin all the time. I'm a physical person on stage too. When I used to be on stage having fun as an MC. So I know the mental health community says that the picture of mental health is a smiling face. The picture of mental health could be a smiling face.
That's so deep. That's so deep.
It is. When you look and I'm like, wow. So you could be smiling in all your friends' face and then going home in hell and not feeling wanted or loved or liked in any way and not feeling approved of in any way. How have you through the comedy world and doing the impressions, how have you maintained yourself above water and walking on water? Because you had to walk on water to be in 50 plus years of doing this. Yeah. You have to walk on water. You're not just swimming anymore. You're walking on water.
That's powerful too. I was thinking to myself just the other day, because I'm touring right now with George Wallace.
George Wallace, big up
George. He's one of the names of today. He's a powerful comedian. Yes. And as I was coming up in the comedy world, every time I thought something was not good and it made me feel a little bad or whatever, God would send me this incredible blessing.
Yes.
Like Patti LaBelle wants to do a show. She wants me to do a show with her or something like, and I'm going, what? And how people, Whitney Houston, really, Whitney Houston. She needs an opening act in DC one night because the guy who was supposed to open for her thought it was a Friday night when in fact it was, he thought it was Saturday night when it was Friday night. So he didn't show up. So the promoters called me and said, can you come down and open for Whitney Houston? And I'm like, what? So they said, well, Whitney's down here at the Warner Theater and she needs an opening act and we thought of you and thought you'd do good. Hello, who's that? Just whatever. Yes, I want to do it. And it would be things like that would interrupt my happy thoughts that I didn't, where am I going now? As a matter of fact, this past year, I was at a point because I've been doing so much. I've been hosting so many great national shows and all kinds of, the Miss Black America pageant called me and wanted me to host the Miss Black America pageant. And they said, plus we want you to be a judge. So it was like,
can you tell a story? Can you tell us about your experience as
Exactly.
Well, like I said, I had no platforms to perform on. There was nowhere to do comedy now. And I'm watching the Flip Wilson show one night. And I'm watching the Flip Wilson show one night. And these 4 bad Black girls come out on the stage. And I'm trying to figure out, how did they get on national TV? And they announced they were with the Miss Black America pageant. So I thought about it. I said, I'm going to enter. So I entered the pageant, ended up winning, but I tied for first place at first with Bernadette Stannis, Thelma from Good Time.
The girl Thelma. Give all of y'all a good round of applause. I love Thelma. I remember as a young child watching seeing Thelma on Jet Magazine. In Jet Magazine, in the middle, the poster, they always had that, like, that's Thelma?
And how about this, Simon? How about this? In the pageant, they had the nerve to make me come behind her in the bathing suit competition.
Really?
I weighed 119 pounds, I think it was. And I don't know what she weighed. I didn't care. I was mad. Not that kind of mad, but like, oh God, they got me going behind this girl. Because at the time, we didn't know anything about who she was going to become, because that night they gave her a card to call and go in to audition for Good Times. Right. And they sent me to Europe to entertain the American troops from the Vietnam War. Now, when I competed, I didn't know, like I said, we didn't know where we were going from there. But as her popularity grew, and I would tell this story, people would look at me like, oh, okay. But now, at that time, they would say stuff like, I can see you and her tying for first place. And I would say to myself, not with that body. I did not have a body like that. I know how to keep it real. I'm serious. I know. What got me over in the pageant was my talent and my ability to talk on stage in the question answering session. I did real well in that, and that's what beat her out. But in the bathing suit competition, I didn't even have to do the competition because she was gonna win that category. She was winning that, but I scored large. And while I'm in Europe entertaining the troops, there was this guy who had read about me in magazines, and we didn't have television like that, like we have today.
Right.
And he would read the newspaper articles, and he asked one of the agenda keepers of the Miss Black America pageant who I was, and if they could fly me out to California when I got back to the States. And that man was Red Foxx.
Man, the great Red Foxx. Let's get that a round of applause, my brother.
He actually had a contract already prepared for me, because he said he knew he was going to sign me because he'd never heard of a Black woman doing impressions, especially the impressions that I was doing. So
wow,
he signed me right on the spot. I didn't have a lawyer or nothing to look at my contract. I didn't even care. I just said,
you're like, here's all my belongings. Take it all.
They had me for 35 years. I later learned in life. You know, I was like, oh my God, 35 years. And I just recently saw a documentary where his secretary, or the office manager, has the contracts that we signed. So I'm trying to reach out to her so I can get my copy. I want to see what I signed up for.
Right.
What it was. That was So that's my Miss Black America story. That was
That is a fantastic. No.
And I'm going back this year. By the way, they just called me 2 weeks ago and asked if I could come and host it.
Oh wow! Get that a round of applause. Oh man!
And guess where it's going to be? It's going to be, in Atlantic City.
Okay,
which is where they held it in 1968, the first year, right next door to the Miss America pageant, because Black girls could not enter the Miss Black America pageant because rule number 7 said, in order to be in this pageant, you have to be white.
Wow.
So J. Morris Anderson created the Miss Black America pageant, and it pretty much just served me well. Going over to Europe and then coming back home, meeting Red Foxx, flying out of the country. I was 19 years old. That shucks. I was like, oh,
wow.
Right? 19, living the dream.
The dream. And you also dealt with Mr. Dick Gregory, of course. We got to get that a round of applause. Now, what was that like, and how was that story? What happened there, and how you got to meet the legendary Dick Gregory? Because I did security for him. I brought him in town back in the day, and he was such a beautiful, beautiful brother from what I've dealt with personally. So how was your meeting with Dick Gregory, please?
Okay. I did not know him at all, had no clue how to even reach out, but I'd read where they were going to host Muhammad Ali at the fabulous Apollo Theater. Now we're talking 1979. Okay, just keep that in mind. I'm still a little young, very young woman, and I decided I had to be at that roast because everybody was going to be there. They kept promoting this roast. You know, Richard Pryor is going to host. You got Harry Belafonte is going to be there, Fred Williams and Jim Brown, all these ball players, just everybody was going to be there. So I said I was going to crash the roast and be a white, not Ruth Bussey, I forgot the woman's name, but she used a show called Laughing. And every time this white man got fresh with her, she would hit him upside his head. So I said, I'm going to hit Muhammad Ali upside his head. And I'm thinking, Sylvia, how are you going to get in the roast? How are you going to do that? Right. But that's what was on my mind. And because there was no opportunities for women that looked like me at the time, I was going to just bust the roast. I was crashing. And I got a call from one of the girls I was in Europe with because Richard Pryor canceled that day. That same day he canceled. So Dick Gregory, who was the producer, had no one to replace him. Right. So the girl that went to Europe with me said, "Oh my God, I can tell you right now who you can get," and that would be Sylvia Traymore Morrison.
That's right. Get that around.
Mr. Gregory said, so Mr. Gregory said, "I don't know who she is." She said, "You don't need to know. Just I'm telling you, she'll handle it." So he said, "Okay, bring her in." So she called and said, "Sylvia, guess what? You don't have to crash the roast." I said, yes, I do. Can't nobody talk me out of it. I'm going to do it. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how they feel. I'm crashing the roast. She said, listen to what I'm saying. You don't have to crash the roast. I said, and you need to listen to what I have to say. Because I'm telling you, you're not going to keep me. I'm going to be at that roast. She said, you sure are. Because you don't have to crash it. You're hosting the roast.
Wow.
Can we just pause for a second? Because I want everyone to realize the power of intention, the power of the mind. Look at how she created exactly what she wanted. She believed it, and there was that's how manifestation works.
Yes.
You have to hold the belief so strong that it's unwavering, that person was telling that, you were just like, I ain't here to hear anything else. I know I'm going there, and they're like, you actually are. That's amazing.
And it was so interesting because with respect to Mr. Dick Gregory, now keep in mind, I never seen him in person, never met him, never talked to him, never did anything. So when I get there, my girlfriend introduces me to him, and I said, well, Mr. Gregory, is there a script? And he looked at me and said, script? Script? Richard wasn't going to use no script, just do you. Now I'm a little baby girl. I'm a little tiny nobody that I don't know what. I got all had Dick Cavett, and just all kinds of people there that night. And the audience was packed, and I had no script. So I went around to each person individually and asked them what they wanted me to say. And each one of them said, oh, just say what you want. So that's where I had to go. And look, when I got to Harry Belafonte, one of my favorite parts of the night, when I was introducing Harry Belafonte, and he got up with his handsome, fine, gorgeous, wonderful, amazing, intriguing self. And he walking toward me, all I could do in my head was say, "Ayo, ayo." Oh my God! And he came. Oh my goodness! It was just a magical evening. And then Garrett Morris came to me right after the roast and said, "You need to meet my boss." Garrett Morris worked at Saturday Night Live. He was the only black guy on Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
So he took me over to meet Lorne Michaels, and Saturday Night Live was only 4 years old.
Right.
So he took me over to meet Mr. Michael, and he offered me a job on the spot as an associate editor. After he heard about all that I was doing and what I'd just done and how Red Fox flew me back, and he says, "Yeah, okay, we can use her. We can, So he gave me that job right on the spot.
That's amazing.
Wow. I mean, Garrett, I met Garrett. Good dude. Good brother. I met him at WWRL Radio, and I was working there. And him and I share the same birthday, February 1st. So
Simon, you've been around. Let's let you. You might be my little brother.
I've been on radio. I've been radio since I was young. So being on radio at WWRL was the oldest black formatted radio station in New York before BLS and LIB, and that's where I was at. Doing my thing. And
you know who co-hosted the roast with me?
Who that?
From WBLS.
Not Frankie Crocker, please.
Frankie Crocker.
Get out of here. That's fine.
Frankie Crocker and I hosted that roast. I'm so dense. I didn't realize who he was. And he was like, "Hi, Sylvia. I'm Frankie Crocker. We're going to be hosting the roast together." Here I go, "Okay," and walked away.
Oh my goodness, Frankie. Oh, that's one of our, because he used to be on WWRL. That's where he started off in New York. He started in Buffalo MCA, and then he went to New York and started right there at WWRL. And then he became the legendary Frankie Chief Rocker Crocker over there at WBLS, WLIB with WBLS. He said it all. So that's what our teacher. I used to be doing homework to Frankie Crocker. So he come on at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. I'm still doing homework, waiting to hear Moody's Mood. There I go, there I go, there I go. Oh,
and how about
baby,
I hadn't seen Dick Gregory after the roast. I didn't see him for 35 years. And how I saw him again was he was in Washington, D.C., and he needed an opening act. So they called me, and I said, "I would love to open for Mr. Gregory. I haven't seen him." So when I got down to the club, and he was out there practically waiting on me. I said, Mr. Gregory, he said, Sylvia, we thought you were dead.
Usually that's what happens with people. That's so crazy.
I said, Mr. Gregory, no, I'm not. I've been around. I see you. I've been seeing you. So they told me after the show that when Dick Gregory does a comedy show,
yes,
he rarely talks about the opening act. He
true.
rarely does because he does like 3 to 4. He was doing like 3 to 4 hours of material. But he announced that he was very intrigued and inspired and just thought I was one of the most talented people he'd met. And, you know, coming from Dick Gregory, that was kind of big.
Was this it? Was this the event?
I beg your pardon?
Was this the event that you hosted with him?
No, this was my birthday party. He came as my guest. He came as my guest. He performed, and I had a house full of all kind of just incredible people.
He was such a wonderful soul. Wonderful.
He really
soul.
was. Honest to God, he was.
Oh, he was, man. And we'll be interviewing his son, who actually put together this book, the Essential Dick Gregory. So we're gonna be interviewing his son, Christian Gregory, soon. And big up to Mark. Mark Gregory is doing comedy, also his nephew. So
right. Yes, he is.
I'm loving that.
And he's good too.
Mark he's very good. I've been to 2 of his shows. Ray DeJean brought him into Brooklyn, and matter of fact, I just sent this link to Ray DeJean to watch it because he needs to bring you into one of those comedy shows and have some fun. But let's backtrack a little bit because I was watching you and you were speaking about someone that tried to put you on the casting couch and how women had to be a little bit more careful because men always trying to try women and have sex with them and all that to get to where you got. But you told that story. Please tell that story and how that went. You don't have to mention no names. You just because I'm saying this because there's women in entertainment watching me right now. Big up Holistically Hilarious right now. She's in California and she does laugh therapy and also comedy. So she's a laugh yoga. She does laugh yoga also with therapy.
Very funny.
Very funny. Had her on before. So talk about that and why women have to be a little bit more cautious and be very careful when they're dealing with sometimes these quote unquote brothers or men, white men, black men in this industry, and how they might try to put them on the couch and do all kinds of craziness with them. So I don't even like to hear that. That's why Phyllis Yvonne Stickney, a good friend of mine, she actually spoke about that on Comedy Hype that she wasn't giving up no punani and none of that stuff. So they might as well forget it. So please talk about that because it's a real story. These are things that happen.
It really is.
Yes.
The good thing for me, as opposed to a lot of other women who are in comedy, is that I was so dense. I was so young and so unexposed. My mother was very strict. She kept us in the house. I was so glad to get away to college. I didn't know what to do with myself because we couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't do anything. So by the time I got out to California at Red Fox's request, he never tried anything. He never ever made a suggestion. He never ever had made them funny eyes. He never even breathed a word about any of that. So I was traveling in a mode of non-exposure rather. Right. I wasn't exposed to any of that until this one night. They were having the basketball game was taking place. The Jackson 5 against several celebrities. Right. One of the celebrities, I forgot where I met him. I think it was at Red Fox's office or whatever, invited me to go to the game. Mm-hmm. Of course I want to go to the game. It's the Jackson 5, and then we don't know who the other celebrities are. Sure, I'd love to go. So, and I haven't even thought, not one time in my brain that I think that any man would, it just didn't never cross my mind.
Yeah.
And I think, like you just said, Kerry, the power of intention, I wouldn't have known what to say anyway. And this was what I mean. So the game is over with and I get home. He brings me home and I get out and he's like, well, aren't you going to invite me up for a nightcap or something? I said, well, I don't drink. And he says, well, how about a cup of coffee or tea? So I said, okay. Still ain't even thought. Not even thought for a moment that anything was happening.
Right.
So we get upstairs, I fix a little cup of teas. I give him a cup of tea, and I have a cup of tea. I turn on the TV. I'm still trying to figure out I wonder how much longer he's gonna want to sit around because I want to
go to bed.
But I'm trying to be respectful because he did take me to the game. I met all these wonderful people, blah, blah, blah. So while I watch TV, his hand reaches over to my hair and he starts digging in my hair. So I took his hand and slapped him in the world.
Yes.
Now, mind you, I'm a young woman who hadn't been exposed to nobody. And that is a whole nother personal side of my story that I haven't told. I'm telling it in this second book.
Right.
But it's like, I couldn't believe he put his hands in my hair. And I slapped it away. I didn't just move it. I slapped it away.
Exactly.
So he told me, and I'm paraphrasing it because I can't remember the exact same words, but he said, and I forgot to tell this other part to the story. Right. He said, look, in this business, Sylvia, you're going to have to learn. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So look, here's me behind that. What that mean?
Exactly.
Honest to God, I said to him, what is it? He said, oh, now you're going to try to pretend like you don't know what that means. And I honestly, in my heart, in my soul, I had no idea what that meant.
Wow.
All I know is that it was weird, him putting his hands in my hair. And I didn't even have a boyfriend at the time. He might not have been able to put his hands in my hair at that time either, because I was a young woman trying to get out into the world, trying to get myself stapled in this business. And he gonna put his hands in my hair.
Not a black woman here. You don't do that.
I love that. I love that so much.
And so he politely got up and left. And I've never seen him again.
Good.
Never talked to him again. Never nothing.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, I got to give him some gunshots. Get out of here. Don't you be doing all of that to our sisters. I've sat up in comedians' house and females' house, and I've never did all that with the comedy. I try to, personally, I don't trust too many female comedians because they'll tell our whole story on the darn stage, and I can't. I stop.
I'm telling stories.
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately, the guy is deceased now.
Wow.
And I don't like. Well, it's in my book. It's in my autobiography.
Buy the book, you guys.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, we got. I got to show the books now. Hold on one second. Let me show the book. She got some books here, family. We want to make sure that we show spread love. You got to spread love, and this is her Cash App and her PayPal right here. Show us some love, but go buy the book. It's on Amazon, right, sis? It's on Amazon.
Yes,
right.
All three of them.
Sure y'all support all three of her books, and she got another one coming out. So y'all look out for it now. Right? And of course, now let's go there with the book, because this is interesting, because you got one book that says Almost There, Almost. What is that? Just give a premise of that book, please.
Almost There, Almost. The Many Faces of Sylvia Traymore Morrison talks about my early days in the business. I didn't know that I was going to have such a fantastic. This book was released in 2010, but it talks about what we talked about today, and also many, many other subjects. My struggle with that whole trying to get out there, and how even today, I still struggle with females not being on shows. We're 70% of the comedic audiences, and a lot of shows are always all male. So I'm an advocate. I fuss about that. I'm a serious advocate for it. And I'm also an advocate for cancer. I support breast cancer. And I am talking about my experience with a husband who had full-blown AIDS, and how I did. That chapter may be one of the most invigorating, incredible chapters, because I have women from all across the country saying, so what did you do? It's like, when I married according to my vows. I told y'all my parents were strict. Right. I learned values. I learned, if I'm going to marry you, I'm going to be with you through thick and thin.
Right.
This guy went out and he got my ex-husband, who he's now deceased. He went out and got full-blown AIDS. And I know I'm going to throw this in there, and I know I'm blowing part of the book. Okay. But I knew that if he had AIDS, full blown, his was full blown. Wow. Blood count was 11. Anything under 200 is considered full blown.
Right.
So when he first told me he had it and that I needed to get checked, I knew I already had it because that's my husband. I already knew. Right. And to my surprise, when I went to get checked, I cry when I tell this part sometimes.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Wow.
The doctor told me after they took the test, took 3 days for it to get back. And he said, his secretary said, his assistant, whatever, right. Your tests are back and you don't have it. As a matter of fact, there's an enzyme in your blood that will not allow.
Woo, man.
Wow. Woo. Your ancestor, your angels, your guides, your tribe, they are working overtime to protect you. You are here for some powerful.
And Kerry, you know what? I believe that with all my heart because it's like, I was in an accident with a car. My 2-year-old granddaughter and I were in a car. This group of young guys hit me and flipped us over. Whoa. And they thought I was dead. They went in and this little young boy went in and got my granddaughter out. Yeah. And she said to him, "Are you going to help my grandmother out?" And she was about 2 or 3 years old, I think. And they tell me the little guy looked and said, "Yeah, I am." And he went up there because everybody was afraid to go near the car because it looked like it was going to blow up. With me in it. And I was unconscious, so it looked like I was dead. But they said he told them he saw my finger move. And he used all of his strength with everything he had to pull me out of that truck before it blew up.
Wow.
He pulled me out. And I wish with every part of my heart and soul I could find him to say thank you.
Wow.
Because that accident was so horrible. People thought that whoever was in there was dead. And when they saw me, my face I had just put the window up. And had I not put the window up, the snatch from me being hit would have my neck wouldn't have had anything to hit to break the hit.
Right.
The window broke my neck from snatching.
Whoa.
If I hadn't put the window up, we wouldn't be talking here. And the doctor said, "Boy, you got in some favor with somebody somewhere because that's not something." And I was unconscious for a long time.
Right.
Here I am. So I believe you, Kerry. I believe you. I appreciate you saying that because my 2 best girlfriends say, "How do you always run into these miracles?"
Yeah.
And then once the enemy probably trying to get to you before,
They can't though. They can't.
Right. Exactly. But like give that a round of applause, man. See, that's why I had to say we had to do it, the perspective that we came from because the show is called Heal and Vibe. And it's all about those little stories are healing other people. Those little stories, because those things and the books that you offer through what you have here is one of those things that people don't realize, that as much as you see comedians and impressionists on that stage doing their thing, that they have a life also. There's a life behind every one of y'all. And, I always respect the craft. Always. And then you have the other book is Jelly Beans from Heaven. Let's talk about that. Jelly Beans from Heaven.
Jelly Beans from Heaven. I have to thank Whitney Houston for that.
Big up to Whitney.
I have to thank her for that book because while it took me 5 years to write my autobiography, Jelly Beans from Heaven took less than a year to write because I was on stage one night up in Philadelphia. I'll never forget it. It was about 900 people in the audience. A nice crowd. They were sitting there just listening and loving all the stories. And it's like, somebody said you have time. Okay.
Yes, that's Oracle T. Big up to yes, you have big time favor.
Favor. That's amazing. Thank you. Right. And so I'm on stage and a voice, just like I'm talking to you guys right now, this big, loud, male, incredible, strong voice came up and I could hear them saying, tell the audience when Whitney went to heaven, God assigns you a mentor, and he assigned Lena Horne for her mentor, and then do an impression of Whitney Houston and Lena Horne talking. Now this is going on while I'm talking to my audience, and I'm like, who? I'm looking around thinking to myself and not to take the audience's attention away.
Right.
And then it said, do it. So I said, oh yeah, when Whitney died, she got that, and this whole story developed right there in front of the audience.
Wow.
And when I have one lady who posted on her page, she said, I want you to go out and buy jelly beans from heaven. If you don't like it, let me know. I'll reimburse you your money.
Wow.
That's how she put, she was that. Her name is John Cia. I have to say her name because I was so surprised. She said, Sylvia, I love Jelly Beans from Heaven so much. I've never read anything like it. And it talks about the vision that I believe God gave me to tell people about what heaven may be like, what it may look like. Right. It's like there's like 770,000 universes. It's stuff that your mind it's so deep.
Right.
I know it wasn't my mind that created all that stuff in that book.
Oh, you went there because it's telling you what your remember, the mind is already, the microcosmic universe is connected to the macrocosmic universe, so it probably told you exactly what it is out there. And sometimes
you and Kerry, y'all coming up with some stuff. I love that.
we these indigo children. We just like we indigo, so we gonna show.
And the fact that you have experienced near death open you up more to the parallel worlds. So King Simon is right.
Yes,
and so when I tell that story often on my shows. Because it's very entertaining, it's very enlightening, and it's a wonderful, I tell it about my experience with Whitney and Lena Horne, but the book is not about Whitney and Lena. It's about you.
Right.
It's about me. It's about us. It's about, stuff that happens to us. And once you get to heaven, oh my God, the trip to heaven is a trip. It's a trip.
Believe me, it's a trip. I know that.
I promise you guys, I don't know where it came from, but you just told me, Simon. You just told me the cosmic, all that heavy duty stuff you just said. Like you and Curry do, y'all tell heavy duty stuff. And it's really about it. And
Sylvia, it's really that simple. It's really simple. It's not even heavy duty. That's some simple stuff compared to what I've heard before. But the next book, I want you to introduce that in your Whoopi Goldberg voice, please. What was that book all about? Please introduce.
Which book? Say the name of it.
Me, Satan, God, and COVID, please.
Okay. Well, let me tell you just a little bit about this. This girl is crazy. Because she wrote this book, Me, Satan, God, and COVID, because all four of them were in the room together, and she talks about her experience. At least when I read it, I was floored. I was absolutely floored. COVID must have made her have all kind of just stuff. And there you have it. Am I right or wrong with Wendy? Wendy, come here. Wendy Williams, come here. Tell them what you thought when you read Me, Satan, God, and Heaven. Oh my God. Okay. How you doing? Okay. When I read Me, Satan, God, and COVID, I put it down at first because I thought it was a little demonic. But it was, because Satan was right there, and Satan was just controlling COVID, But Wanda Sykes, what was your take on Sylvia's book? I ain't got nothing to say about it. All I know is that I read it and I said I got to get the other two.
No, wait a minute. That's why she is the first Black female impressionist and the first Black female writer of Saturday Night Live. Man, thank you, there.
Oh man, that was good. So, question: what was your favorite, your most iconic and favorite episode that you were a part of writing on Saturday Night Live?
Well, my first night there, I was assigned rather to work with Linda Ronstadt. I don't know if you guys know who she is.
I know who Linda Ronstadt is. Yes,
and Bob Hope's wife.
Bob Hope.
Now, mind you, I was not with Saturday Night Live that long. That's a whole nother story we could go into at a time when we have more time. I have to admit, if you were a Black woman coming up at that time in the entertainment industry, it was tough. First of all, I feel real blessed that I was in the company of some of the people that I was in the company of. How many people get to have Red Fox to sign them to a contract?
That's
how
right.
How many people get to meet up with Dick Gregory at Muhammad Ali's roast and then host it and replace with, it's just a lot of stuff that went down. But then it didn't go no further than that because nobody wanted to write about this Black girl who was out on the streets doing all kinds of stuff, getting these kind of jobs. There I am. That's Angela. What's his name? Dundee, Dundee.
Oh yeah, Angela Dundee. That was his roadie. That's got a road.
That was his
roadie.
I have to always remember that I was so blessed coming up in this industry.
Yeah.
While I didn't get the national attention, they wrote a book called Ladies, Laugh, Be a Lady. And in the book, they have me with people like Mary Tyler Moore, what is it? The Golden Girls.
Yeah.
All of these iconic, legendary white women. And I'm sitting up in there in the book with them. So I called the author and I asked her, I said, what made you put me in the same category with these iconic women? Jean Stapleton,
of course, Carol Burnett,
all of these white women who had big TV shows. And the author said, Miss Sylvia, to be honest, you were right there with them. You just didn't get the television exposure that they did.
Wow.
Give that a round of applause. You're there. You was right there.
Absolutely. Like, you've made a mark. And King Simon and I have watched various clips, and we watched one of Mo'Nique. I just love Mo'Nique. Everything about her just opens my heart space into this euphoric space. I just love her.
Hey, Mo'Nique, come here, girl. They on here talking about you. Hi, my babies. How you doing? Yes, I did. I had Miss Sylvia come out to Vegas, and I did a tribute to her. I did. Okay.
Thank you.
Here we go then with it.
Oh, the other one.
That's the tribute. No, this is a tribute. That's the other one. That's the other one you talking about. I was okay. Here we go. This is what we talking about. Right. Hold on. Yeah, it's not playing. What happened? It has to play. It's playing. It's not playing. Is it playing? No, it's not playing. I don't know why it was playing. Let's see what happened, because it was playing just a few seconds. Hold on 1 second. Let's take it off and bring it back. Maybe it's too much going on. Hey. Hold on. Got it. Let me see. All righty. Let's play that. It's now it went away. Now it's gone.
Really? Let's see.
Now it's gone. It's not even coming up again. I don't know what's going on in the background. I don't. They don't want us to give her the roses right here in the front. Yeah, it's not coming up from your computer no more. I don't know what happened. The other one, let's play this one, because this one is out. Let's say, because she salutes her and this one don't want to come up no more. Did you take it off?
No. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see something.
Yeah, it's not coming up at all. I wanted to play that.
I know.
It started playing.
It started playing. Then it just ran off. Let me see it again.
It ran off.
It just ran up the block. I don't know what's happening. It's saying it's on and it's not. And it's not coming up.
Well, while we're waiting for it to behave, I can tell you quickly how Mo'Nique came into my life. I was hired a few years ago to host the Play Awards. Ever since I hosted the Muhammad Ali Rose, I get all these organizations around the world wanting me to come and host their event, which is such a blessing. So they hired me in Vegas to come out to Vegas to host the Play Awards. And I had 2 days off. I was going to go see George Wallace one night and then go see Mo'Nique. And so I found out through a little friend of mine that he was going to go to the Mo'Nique show and do some minutes on stage. So I said, I'm going to go see Mo'Nique. And when I got there, Rodney Perry was there. So Rodney and I sat down and had dinner. And when we started talking, he said, oh my God, Mo'Nique is going to love you when she hears all this history. Mm-hmm. You know, she is very much into history.
Yes. So she's a Sag like you. She's a Sagittarius like you too.
Yes, she is. Yes, she's like a couple days before me.
Yeah, so and Red Fox also.
I get to her residency, and they put me in the VIP section, and I thought that was kind because, you know, she had a packed house, whatever. So at the end of the show, I see Rodney Perry talking to Mo'Nique, telling her that I was there. And she kept looking over at me. She just kept looking over me. So she walks over to me and she said, hey, Miss Sylvia, how you doing, my baby? I said, I'm fine. She said, look, I'm embarrassed because I've never heard of you. Mm-hmm. I don't know you. And I feel like I should know the first Black female impressionist in the country. So she cut all she said, come on back here to my dressing room. I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to try to keep myself together when I tell you this.
Wow.
So she sits a chair for me to sit in, and she set the chair right in front of me. She looked at me and she said, Miss Sylvia, have you ever heard of Lucille Brogan? So I said, I think so. I had never heard of her, but I didn't want to tell Mo'Nique that I never heard of her, right? So I said, I think. She said, well, Lucille is the first Black rapper. She did her first rapping song back in 1884, I think it was, something like that. Okay. And she said, and she's just like me. She said, didn't I tell you? Now I'm about to tell you something. So she looked at all of her staff, her hair, her stylist, her security, her road manager, everybody. She said, didn't we just talk about that this morning? And everybody looked at her and shook her. And she said, Miss Sylvia, Miss Brogan came to me this morning. And I saw the tears forming in her eyes. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what happened. You know, had I done something, you know, why is she about to cry? And she said, Miss Brogan came to me this morning and she told me, Mo, you don't have to promote me. Don't worry about promoting me. I'm going to send you who I want you to promote. Wow. And she said, and Miss Sylvia, you walked in the door.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And from that day forward, when Mo'Nique does an interview, she told me, she said, everybody that I know is going to know you.
That's right.
Every interview, I saw her. She don't even call and tell me. She just does it.
Yeah, remember I called. Remember when I talked to you on the phone? I said Mo'Nique just shouted you out on Bernie Mac's daughter show. I said, did you hear that? I think. Hold on. Let me see if it plays. Hold on. Let's see if it plays. Hopefully it plays. It looked like it's not. There it goes again.
I think it's gonna play. Hold on.
It's shut down. It's all right. But yep, I'm telling you, family, I called her. She didn't even know she was heading on out to go meet with George Wallace. And at that time, I remember you was heading out.
And you know, she took me all over Vegas to all kind of radio shows, television shows, introducing me. And when I tell you she introduces you, Mo'Nique puts it down when she introduces. And she knows that I'm a clean comic. And she makes sure that wherever I am with her, everybody else knows it. So it won't be no disrespect type stuff going on. She does not play that. So I am a big Mo'Nique fan. I love her. As a matter of fact, she came to I did an event, 50th anniversary in comedy extravaganza. And she came, and Melba Moore came, and a whole bunch of folks showed up. And I was honored that Mo'Nique didn't ask me for anything. She didn't need me to fly her in. She didn't need me to get her a hotel. She didn't need me to feed her. She just came on in. And she's just been a blessing, as well as Sybil Wilkes.
Sybil Wilkes. Okay.
I can't tell you guys how I could cry talking about Sybil, because Sybil has done so. For instance, they were looking on the Sherry Shepherd show for somebody to come in, and Kerry, I know you're gonna like this because you already say I got some connection with however you put that heavy duty stuff. I don't know how y'all say it. This part of that. So Sherry Shepherd and John Murray, her executive producer, needed somebody to come in for Black History Month in their comedy lounge. And they were throwing all kinds of names out. And Sybil said, well, wait a minute, y'all. You can't have nobody on that show but Sylvia Traymore Morrison. She is history. And they say she plugged me so deeply that the executives, everybody said, okay, bring Sylvia in. So I did the Sherry Shepherd show. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the clip, but it was, shucks, she had me, Sherry has done 3 things with me. She's put me on her Black History Comedy Lounge. Then when they went on vacation, they had to pick the top shows out. And mine was the first one they showed. And there were notes on there like, this whole episode with Sylvia is a whole Emmy Award-winning episode. It was good. And then she had me on her 2 funny mamas. She talked about me and I was like, okay, God, so you done gave me Sherry Shepherd too. And then I didn't get a chance to tell you guys this, but George Wallace walked in on Monique's last show with me on the very last show.
Wow.
And when I got off the stage, he jumps up out of his seat, runs to the back to where I am at the dressing room and said, who are you and how come we don't know you? And he invited me he said, I'm going to be in Maryland. I would love for you to come and do a show with me, do my show.
Yeah.
And the next time we talk, y'all don't even have to invite me back. I'm coming back. It's just that simple. You don't even have to.
Exactly.
I'm coming back. I love you. And
I love y'all. Love you too. Love you. Kendall just said you was awesome on Sherry's show. Yeah, I watched Sherry's show that last night. I was binge watching yesterday. I watched the Sherry show. That was awesome with Sherry. Yeah, that was good. Sherry's a good queen.
She was talking about me on her Emmy Award-winning 2 Funny Mamas, and somebody again they called me up and said, "Sherry's talking about you. She's on the radio." She said, "I'm like, what?" And I said, "Well, good Lord," I said that was right around a time too, guys, that I was starting to feel a little weird because I'm like, okay, God, well, I'm doing everything you give me to do, but it's not. I need to be propelled. Next day, John Murray calls me. Sherry wants you on the show. Okay, are you available February the 6th? And I'm like, okay, thank you. So it's so George had me to come up to his show in Maryland at the Bethesda Blues and Jazz, and that's a story because if y'all knew, for 5 years I tried to get into that club. And it was Joe Clare and Eddie Bryant who were booking, and they wouldn't for 5 years. I'm right here. They'd never put me on the show, but George Wallace did. He took me right to the Bethesda Blues and Jazz. I couldn't believe it. I said, "How does that happen? How does this kind of stuff happen?"
No, you can't believe it. And you know what really strikes me about you is your tenacity. Your fight, you don't give up. It's that Sagittarius too. You're like the arrow. You have a goal and you're like, nothing is going to deter me. I'm going to see it through. That's amazing.
Thank you. And I really feel like that too. I mean, in my soul, in my heart, I feel like as long as I'm not hurting anyone, disrespecting anybody, or doing something that's not going to feel good to some people, I'm going to do it. If it's going to,
it's in your nature. That's a Sagittarius. That is what Sagittarius do. That's why they're glyph. So that sign, the symbol, the little
here we go with that heavy stuff. Here we go.
Sorry. The drawing that looks like an arrow that represents Sagittarius. That's what it is. It's the arrow pointing to your goal. So that is in your nature to be the one pursuing whatever it is that it is in your soul to pursue. So that's the fight, mama.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because the whole beauty behind it is like, if I ask for, whatever, be on a show or hope they pick me or whatever, it's like even with Sherry, they told me that they were so glad that they picked me to be in their, in the Black History Month chair. Yeah. And I always pray right before I hit the stage. I never ever do a show without asking God to let me do good. Just let me give people their money's worth. Yeah. And it's always been a blessing, always. So, and it's been a blessing to be here on this show too, because I know y'all. I'm going to be watching you guys, and I'm going to tell all my networks and everybody to watch because y'all are so much fun. And deep, y'all some deep people. I got to be thinking when y'all talk. I have to I say, wait a minute. He said something about something. I don't know what that is. She just
well, hey, don't
all in one big ball. Here you go, Sylvia.
I
was disrespectful by telling y'all I'm coming back. I have
what?
Invitation.
We go.
How dare you? We don't want you back.
Let me show this thing. Hold on 1 second. Let me show it right now, real quick. And here we go.
Before tonight, I had no idea all the doors you kicked in, all the answers you kept, all the calls you made, all the niggas you were called, all the dicks you had to start to bring those people. Now, what you got to do this for? We honor you. We cherish you. We respect you. And I want to say thank you for all the ones that never got a chance to say thank you, and for the ones that don't feel like they need to say thank you. I want to thank you, goddamn it, Miss Sylvia, because you can make a way for a little fat black bitch like me and walk in the middle. I want to thank you for letting me stand on my shit, baby. You learn me not to listen to my ear, but we fuck them motherfuckers, yeah.
That was powerful. That was powerful. I'm trying to get the one where the clip where our beautiful sister Bernie Mac's daughter spoke about you. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to find that clip real quick so people understand Bernie Mac and Mo'Nique was on it. Hold on 1 second. Let me share screen here and find out. Let me put you back here. Okay, this is what I see now. Things are going on over here, but let me see if I can share screen and pull it up. But yeah, that was. How did you feel with that? With Mo'Nique doing that for you? Mm-hmm. How did you feel? While I do my thing.
The first time. Robbie Perry taped that whole thing because I didn't even know she was going there. I was leaving the stage. I just finished my set.
Right.
And she said, wait a minute, come here, Miss Sylvia, come here. And you guys, myself included, missed the first part because the first part that she said got a double standing ovation.
Wow.
So when Rodney Perry realized, wait a minute, we need to get this on tape, he was able to catch that part.
Right.
And that was I'm happy for that, because it was powerful. It was powerful. That she was,
and to be recognized, by someone who sees you, like that really sees you and really honors the work that you have done to pave the way.
Sylvia Traymore Morrison, she's still alive today. She was doing comedy now for 50 years. The first Black female writer on Saturday Night Live.
Y'all can hear that?
You look it up. They got her down as a PA.
Wow, that was it. I think that was the clip. Yeah, that was the clip. I couldn't pull it up to show it, but I could only get the voice from it. But that was Mo'Nique shouting you out on Bernie Mac's daughter's podcast.
Wow,
that was yeah.
And she shouted me out with T.I. and Tiny. She shouted me out with what's his name? She just when she goes on the air, she promised that's what she was going to do.
Yeah,
and she does it. And if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have known that was. She never calls and say, Sylvia, I'm going to be on the air.
Mm-hmm.
She just says it. And she on her special.
Yeah.
If you look at the credits, she's thanking me in the credits.
Wow.
I cried when I saw it. I'm like, wow. And I called her and I said, Mo'Nique, she said, Miss Sylvia, if it wasn't for you, sugar, I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't have the stage to stand on. So thank you. And I'm like, wow. I see everywhere you go. She said, I told you that.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to tell people about you. You need to be talked about. And it's like, it's so humbling. It's really humbling that I got people like Mo'Nique and Sybil Wilkes, and now Sherry Shepherd and George Wallace. You know, these are giants in the game.
You know what just came to me, that y'all should, all the female comedians that understand this, y'all should take a pilgrimage to Moms Mabley's grave and just show her love. Just put the flowers down and whatever. You know, Moms Mabley was that woman, man, and that she set it off for all of y'all.
Everybody, she set it off, and I make sure whenever I go on the air, at least I try to make sure that I acknowledge that Moms Mabley was it. That's who that was. So
right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's because she, you know, I remember watching her just because they was giving a salute. She said, one of my thoughts would make your brain burst, something like that. But she was just like, it
was amazing. And I don't know if you guys noticing that. And Kerry, I already know you will come up with something deep. I know it. Do you know? How about this? That you just brought up Moms Mabley like that.
Yes.
How about now? I never knew her because she was much older than me.
Right. Her
house was across the street from my house.
Get out of here.
Her house.
I'm leaving.
Get out of here.
What?
Her Moms Mabley's house was cat a corner to my house. Wow. And when I first bought the house, it was years and years ago. Somebody told me, they said, you know, Mom, that's Moms Mabley's house.
Wow.
I was like, you know, what is the universe trying to do to me?
Nothing is an accident. Nothing is an accident.
Wow.
Oh,
how is this possible?
There's a
so you guys know that my tribute to Moms Mabley, Andy Evans wrote a play about Moms Mabley. It's called The Return of Jackie Moms Mabley. And he wanted me to play the part because, like you just said, you think all the comedians should get together. What he wrote in this play was women who in the business who opened the door, like Ella Fitzgerald,
yes,
Baker, Nancy Wilson, all these wonderful women who she loved, who Moms loved. And I had to portray all of them. Sarah Vaughan, Pearl Bailey, just a plethora of women who came up with her. And I got to, it's a one-woman play. And it's just, we're still traveling with it, but I just don't, it's a lot of work. So I only do it like once every.
I mean, look at her. She had to dress up like she had to dress up like that to get on the stage. But look what she looked like without all of that. I mean, she's a very beautiful woman.
Hello. Yes, she. And you know who else was beautiful?
Wanda Page.
Wanda Page. That woman was
beautiful too. Very beautiful.
Incredibly beautiful.
I remember she used to be a dancer and everything. A showgirl.
Yes, she did.
Yes, they said she was a showgirl. My goodness.
So I'm honored that they would even include me in that genre of women because I've been this is my 54th year.
Wow.
54.
Wow. 54.
And I tell people all the time when I'm on stage, no, not how old I am.
It's like 54. Yeah, you looking like 54 and 55. You looking like 54. So you talking about 54.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I'm 56.
And how about this? I attribute all of that to laughter.
Yes.
I believe it. I believe that I've laughed so much. I've laughed so much with y'all on I know I had. Oh, Simon, please send me that thing you said earlier on the show when you talked about what laughter does for you in terms of your breathing.
Oh, yes, definitely. I'll send it to you.
That's that heavy duty stuff you and Kerry come up with on the show. Y'all keep coming up with that deep stuff. And I have to ask, I need to have it sent to me. So I can
you send it, you could incorporate that into your jokes and your comment because people don't realize how important it is.
I will do that. And I will let them know. If I have to refer them back to this tape, I will let them know. King Simon gave me permission.
Right.
That's right. I will forward that email to you because I was researching it. I said, but I've been studying about comedians for years and laughter and all that, the importance of keeping people laughing. Believe me, one time I was on stage as an MC and we had to take off a very highly respected artist before a certain time. And the audience, Caribbean audience is different. The audience started, because I had to pull them off, the audience started throwing bottles and corn and water at me. You know what I did? I stayed on that stage and was running back and forth doing flips and rollouts. I said, I'm not leaving the stage because I love y'all. I'm not leaving. I was dodging all the bottles and they was coming. And to let everybody stop throwing things and started laughing. They said they couldn't believe. All the reggae artists was coming up to me and said, boy, you saved the show. Because I wasn't leaving that stage. I was not going to leave. I'm just going to run back and forth.
Intent thing, Kerry. That's what he did. He was determined.
Right? Very.
That's right. I was determined. But, you know, I'm so happy that we brought you on for this particular day and this particular energy a month before your birthday. And so I know you're going to have a wonderful birthday coming up in December. So we thank you very much. Any other questions you want to give her, Kerry, before we get off the stage? What you want to say? Anything? Because I know Kerry now.
I want to thank you. I want to just thank you for just being yourself. Yes. In an era that it was challenging to be, and really having integrity and coming out and still doing what you love. You know, it's all about the joy, and we could see it. You have such a beautiful aura, such a beautiful heart. And yes, you bring jokes, but it's who you are as well. And I'm honored to share this stage with King Simon, to meet you and to hear your wonderful story. So thank you.
Yes, it is such
one of my jobs is going to be to let my network know that you guys are here. Yeah, and they need to know. I when I get off here, I'm going to send a note to Freddie and thank him profusely.
Yeah,
for recommending me to you guys.
That's my
I appreciate this whole hour. Now, will I be able to have a copy of this so I can share it with my network?
I can send you the link right in your text right now. I can send it to you so you can watch it.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Because I'll put it on. I've been telling people, don't call me tonight. Don't do it. My daughter, she just called. I'm like, didn't you?
I tell you not to call.
I sent it to Freddie. I sent it to Phyllis Yvonne Stickney. I sent it to 4 of my friends in the comedy world to make sure and to watch you. Fig Man. I sent it to Ty Griffin. I sent it to, of course, the Laughologist, Melanin B. I sent it to her because I wanted to, to get the from your point of view of what you've done and what you've provided for us all these years, and what they have. They're just starting to recognize, because you just don't. And I'm glad Sherry is there, and it's not Wendy. But Sherry is there, and now you although you imitate Wendy, Sherry is right there as a comedian to help promote you and also shout you out. And she did. And I'm so honored that you was able to get that get your roses, and that's what's important.
King Simon.
Yes.
Is it possible? Do you want the actual video?
Yeah, I'm giving it to you.
Like that you for yourself, like outside of it being online, is that what you want?
No, she's getting she got the link. She got the link to watch it if she want to watch it over again.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also want to post it up. Can I post it up from that link? I want to post it on all my social network. I want to
you can post it. Yeah, once I said the link, I said the link. Yeah, you can post it. Yes, you can.
Because I'm going to preface it with, if you've never seen these two, you need to find out what's happening and just watch the magic.
They're going to use some big words. Be warned.
I'm going to tell them y'all deep. I'm gonna tell them about that how they go to that whole universe thing and moves and all of that. Yeah.
The next time you come back, you'll come with you're like, yeah, I'm ready for you guys. Bring the work.
We start breaking down jelly beans, girl.
Right?
Exactly. Let me ask you guys a question. Will I be able to see what's in the private chat? Because I see stuff showing up on the left-hand side. But I don't know if it's on the right hand side.
No, the private chat is us. That's us. As you could be able to text us on the private chat, but on the regular comments, that's people talking to you. That's people saying all they got to say.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Look at that. See how I learned from y'all already. I'm good. Okay.
I definitely got to recommend you to some other platform with a lot of consciousness, because they really would love your energy and how.
I love consciousness. I receive it. I am blessed every time I'm exposed to it, because, see, for me, it comes from another realm.
Yes, it does.
When somebody starts, when Kerry first started that heavy duty stuff, I'm like, oh God, here we go. This is gonna be some deep stuff. I already know. No, I've been around it. Dick Gregory was like that.
But that's my teacher. That's one of my teachers.
He was like that. They talk all that astronomical, being out there superficial. But here you go, the sun.
I've had Shahrazad Ali on here. I've interviewed, of course, Paul Mooney, but that was on I had him on the lecture and all that, and Dick Gregory had a lecture, Queen of Fool, all of them. They've been here. Mugga's been here. Mugga's been here before me and Kerry started working. I've had Mugga because her and I are dear friends, and Fig is definitely.
Do you know who Barbara Carlisle is?
Of course, I know who Barbara Carlisle is.
Have you ever talked with?
No, I have not.
I'm gonna send her this, and she would love to.
Yeah, I've been hearing about Barbara.
Love you guys.
I've been hearing about Barbara for years. A lot of different sisters I've definitely been hearing about in the comedy world, and I'm glad that a lot of the sisters are coming up. But I like that y'all are the older sisters have been presenting with taste back in it, and now this new age they just doing whatever they got to do. I respect them, but y'all presented it with taste. Y'all dressed the look. Y'all presented yourself in front of people. Y'all knew y'all was gonna be in people like, because Dick Gregory and them will tell you like it is. Paul Mooney will tell you like it is. You have any story with Eddie Murphy? Somebody asked if you had any story with Eddie Murphy.
The only story I have with Eddie Murphy is, it's really not a story. I say this and I say, oh, one day he's going to get me. He's going to get me. But, the truth is the truth. So He had been saying that he was the first person that worked at Dark Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C., down there by the White House. Very beautiful place. Right. And I start my shows off when I did my very first professional show in 1969 at Dark Constitution Hall. So Eddie, I love you so much, but
definitely feel here.
You hadn't gotten around here yet, so it's like, but I absolutely adore him. Especially, I really adore him in his older years, in his aging years, because he's now able to, in my opinion, to recognize where he was, what he did, and how he helped. Yes. He sees it. He understands where he was. The prolificness of the sky and the I'm trying to be
I gotta shout out this person because her husband is on the line, her ex-husband is on the line, and he's watching. Aton Edwards, his ex-wife was Kim Coles. Kim Coles. I knew Kim Coles because I went to me and her brother used to go to church together when we was children, when we was younger, dancing and doing the moonwalk back in the day. and Kim Coles and I used to live in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and Kim is doing a lot of spiritual work. Big up to Kim Coles all the time, because I know those are comedian Kim Wayans. They're not talking about that kind of female. She's been out there. Yeah, a lot of these black female melanated females are out there, and they're not talking about it. But Kim was also very hilarious and funny on that stage herself. You ever met Kim Coles?
I did a show with Kim.
Good.
She was the host of. I had to give away the Lifetime Achievement Award to one of the authors in this place in Maryland, and Kim was the host. And when we met, and she sat there the whole while we were talking, she was like this.
Kim would do that.
She was like, how come I don't know you? I said, that's everybody's questions. Everybody's questions. How come I don't know you?
Wow.
But I think what's coming up in the very near future, people will know. They know. I'm invited to do a national television sitcom. So that's going to give me some play, but I can't talk about it yet because I haven't signed my contract.
Yeah.
You are so.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do like Kerry said I do. That's a done deal. Still gonna be on that daggone.
That's right. Manifestation without hesitation.
Guys, when I said I really believe it.
Yeah.
No, I really believe. I wish everybody would do that or could do that. Right. Because when I put my mind in something, it's almost like it's a done deal.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're not gonna keep you. We're not gonna keep you. We're not gonna keep you all night, my sister.
Okay.
I'm gonna
see how y'all are. I love it.
I love it.
Send people. Of course, her IG is Sylvia T. Morrison. Her Cashapp is $50 years for Sylvia, and her PayPal is paypal.me/almost there. Get those books of hers too. And remember, this is her all of her contact. You got her email also if you want to hit her up at Sylvia T. Morrison at Yahoo. She is the legend. She is a living legend, the first Black female impersonator, and also a writer, and also just an extraordinary human being. We thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I will be talking with you guys because you're going to see me plastering y'all's names all over the place. So it's just, that's just what.
Yeah. And Kim's ex-husband is saying this on the chat. He said, I've been telling her that she needs to get back on the stage. That's what Kim, he said. Big up to Afro Prep. Hey, Tom, what's up, hey? Big up to you all the time. But thank you very much, Sylvia. We'll talk.
Okay, y'all. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Give her a round of applause, family. She's in the building. Man. Woo. Man. Oh man, that was beautiful.
My cheeks are literally hurting. They're hurting.
Man, yes. Kim should work with we working with Traymore. Yes, she does, man. Yeah, Aton. You need to call her and tell her, man, she needs to work with Aton is the former husband of Kim Coles. Yeah. I need Kim Coles on this show, sir. We need Kim Coles on the show. Living single. Because I'm living single right now. And she's living single. We both living single, so we need to put all these little single Negroes up here and let's do somebody single together. We'll be dancing and doing the dance. If the night is time.
Okay, stop. Please. My cheek can't do it like I can't. It hurts. When I get off, I'm going to have to go massage my cheek. Oh,
poor baby. Let me massage your cheek for you. Come, let me massage your cheek.
I laugh too much. Oh, my goodness. That was so good. What a beautiful soul.
Yeah, please. Please. Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, he did pass on. That's right. I know that was one of your friends. I know she was. I know that he's talking about. Yeah, because Pee Wee passed on. A week or two ago, right? Yeah. But hey, but that's the whole Pee Wee Herman laugh. But I know y'all all grew up together doing y'all thing. But yeah, that was a beautiful interview, man. And I'm glad that they're giving her the roses, man. I'm glad. And again, let's show this before we get out of here. Let's show it again. Hold on 1 second with Mo'Nique giving her the roses. That is such a powerful thing to do. Hold on, let me show it again. It's going to cut both of us off because it's right in our playlist right here. So I had to upload it to the playlist and it cuts off all of our mics. So hold on 1 second, okay? Let me play it before we leave this show. Hold on 1 second, family. We're going to play this again.
Before tonight, I had no idea all the doors you kicked in, all the ass women you kicked, all the times you had, all the niggas you were called, all the dicks you had to fuck, those people. What else you got to do that for? We honor you. We cherish you. We respect you. And I want to say thank you for all the Muslims. They never got a chance to say thank you. And for the ones who don't feel like they need to say thank you. I want to thank you, goddamn it, Miss Sylvia, because you can make a way for a little fat black bitch like me and walk in the middle. I want to thank you for letting me stand on my shit, baby. You love me like you just got here. We fuck them motherfuckers, bitch. She said, I ain't talking about you, Dick.
Mo'Nique is down. Big up to to Mo'Nique. Oh man, big up to Mo'Nique, man. Mo'Nique used to work with my friend Monteria Ivy, man, with the late great Monteria Ivy at Snaps when they used to snap on each other back in the day. There's a whole YouTube clip of them, her, Tracy Morgan going at it, and a few other brothers and sisters going at it. So, as a matter of fact, Mo'Nique was the only female comedian in that Snaps thing at that time. But man, thank you for sending that clip. Thank you very much for sending that clip. I did see that clip before, but I didn't get to upload it. But thank you very much. And Sylvia, man, thanks Sylvia Traymore Morrison again for coming on and blessing our platform. Man, thank you very much. That
was beautiful. Thank you.
I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and talk some shit. And it was fun to have Sylvia Traymore Morrison on the platform.
Indeed.
Was it time for us to say so long, Saranada, Assalamu Alaikum, Shalom Alaikum, Islam, Irish.
Bye. Bye.
All right.
See you next week, everyone. Be well. Take care of your heart. Mwah.
And next week we're supposed to be interviewing who?
Woo! Paula Herlock, everybody.
Paula Herlock is coming in. Y'all don't know. Please tell the world before we give about Paula Herlock.
Paula is a holistic maven. She is based in Jamaica, and she is just such a beautiful soul. She has been helping individuals for such a long time with herbs. So she's a herbalist. She does meditation, crystal grids, like teaching us about using the crystal energy to heal ourselves and to heal the world. Oh, y'all, you're in for a treat. Yeah. You're in for a treat. She's amazing. So
you think we were talking deep with Sylvia today? It's gonna be deeper.
But powerful, I just love her. So yes, can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait for that. All right,
so King Simon.
Yeah,
you're amazing. Thank you.
You too, my dear. We are amazing. We are amazing. We are a world.
Okay, that wasn't amazing.
Wonderful. But so all right. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on. I guess we'll talk after. We'll talk later. Okay. All right, family.
Bye, everyone.
Later, family, take care. Where's our music? Where's our music band? I need my music band. What's going on? We have a music band that we can get the heck on out of here. Come on, Richard. Come on, Eddie. Come on, Red Fox. Dance. See y'all later, family. Y'all take care. Peace and love.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.